direct Cape Fear. Direct Cape Fear, 790, thanks. How are you hearing this radio, 790?
How do you low bit readable, sir?
Thank you. Low readable.
So I did direct, you did follow.
Okay. Which way are we going? Left turn?
Left 105.
So we're on a trip here today. I'm narrating this video. I apologize for the vertical format. It was because we weren't really planning on filming this. And the last minute we just tossed a camera up on the windscreen to video the flight. And as it turns out, we got some...
That's a big fluffy to fly into.
Some pretty good footage.
Looking kind of gray.
Both going there and coming back. We're on our way from Florence to Cape Fear in North Carolina here.
It's going to be kind of bumpy.
As you can tell right now, we're going into a cloud, kind of a dark cloud. And I am hand flying this right now. We've filed IFR because I thought that there might be some clouds. But as it turns out, the trip was pretty IFR the whole way out. So, as a rule of thumb, I always file IFR just in case you get caught by stuff like this. So, right here we just kind of broke out on top of that cloud, and the camera's having a bit of a struggle focusing, but it'll focus in.
4,200, 5,000.
In a second. We're on our way up to 5,000 feet right now. That was our cruising altitude here as we make our way out to Cape Fear. So by way of introduction, my name is Seth, and I am a CFI. I'm a CFII. These videos that I make for Dig Bus Aviation, that's our little YouTube channel, are in no way authoritative. They are just fun videos that I put together so that we can share our flying experiences together. So my wife and I own a 1983 Piper Turbo Arrow. That's the airplane that you're looking at right there. And if you're wondering why, you can see the blade of the blades of the propeller spinning. It has to do with shutter speed. There's another video on this channel called Ditching the Propeller.
Yeah, it's coming in.
Where I go into how to get rid of that. The trouble is that if you slow the shutter speed down, you will indeed get rid of the blades, but you'll also completely bleach out the shot itself, and so that makes it pretty much unusable in my mind. So I think that the best thing to do is to just leave it in. Plus, you can see that the plane is flying. And it's kind of cool. It has a cool effect. So, like I said, these are not instructional videos, but you might get some instruction from them if you're maybe an IFR student. All of the stuff that is going on in the cockpit here.
5,500 vector, present altitude traffic to 11 o'clock in 15 miles and
Landing light is still on.
Turkey at 5,000 eastbound.
Down to 5,500 for limits here.
Is exactly what you'd hear in the cockpit of an IFR flight aboard a small general aviation aircraft like this, or on the airliners that you're in. In fact, you'll hear airliner traffic as we make our way out to Cape Fear. So again, not necessarily authoritative and instructional, but you might get something from it. I know that I think it's important for...
Florence approach, good afternoon. Time in 382 Kilo Delta, level 7,500.
Time in 382 Kilo Delta, Florence approach, Florence Foxtrot 3021.
3021, 382 Kilo Delta.
Timing 2 Kilo Delta, reset transponder squawk, 1555.
1555, 382 Kilo Delta.
I think it's important for every CFI to become a CFII, especially if you want to get into the airlines.
Marion County Airport right there. I've never landed there.
And the reason is that if you're a CFI and you're going up and you're teaching students stalls and slow flight, yeah, that's wonderful. But that doesn't really necessarily translate into the bigger aircraft that you'd fly in the airlines. You're certainly not going to be doing chandelles in a 737. But when you are flying IFR, you're doing everything that you would do for an airline.
It's like 5,000 is the flight level of the clouds.
So you just heard.
Very long flight.
You just heard my wife's comment there. 5,000 is the flight level of the clouds, and she was absolutely right. Not only that, it's about to get a little bit weathery. Things are about to come down. When I planned this flight initially, I always plan my flights 72 hours in advance, and I look at the weather initially for a long-range forecast. I'll use something like WeatherBug, and just get a general idea of what the cloud cover might be and what the winds are. Is it a nice day generally, or is it going to be rainy? Am I going to go or am I not going to go based on that? Do I really need to go to Cape Fear for launch? Probably not. So if it's going to be a particularly bad day, then we're just not going to go, and I'll shoot for another day. But as we get closer, and it looks like the flight is a go, then I start to sharpen what I'm using for tools. So instead of using just WeatherBug, I'll use the MOS or the TAF.
Embrace Piedmont 5746 has information Delta in the descent passing 9,700 down to 9,000.
Piedmont 5746, launch approach, Florence altimeter 3021, descend maintain 5,000.
I'll use the TAF.
3021, descend maintain 5,000, Piedmont 5746.
And that gives me a more detailed aviation forecast. So I can really decide where it is we're going to go, what the route's going to be, and what our expectation for the weather is. And then when we get to within 18 hours of our departure time, then I can use aviationweather.gov, and I can get all of the other information that I might need to make the flight, and of course to make the go, no-go decision. Now on this particular flight, I did all that, and the day started out IFR, and I went to marginal VFR, but then it was supposed to be VFR during our flight out to Cape Fear, and as you can see, it is VFR above this and below this.
No pockets in this thing.
But as we get further along here, you'll see that it goes from being VFR to very much so being IFR. And that's okay.
Piedmont 5746, turn left heading 155 vectors for the visual approach.
Left 155 vector for the visual, Piedmont 5746.
Because we filed IFR. So my wife isn't really saying a whole lot here. She fell asleep as we were on our way out. I don't know whether to be insulted by that or if that's great praise because she's so comfortable in the cockpit now. It's kind of funny because
It's our AWAS and it is DTAF.
she used to be terrified of flying. When we met, she wouldn't even get on an airplane. And over the years, she gradually warmed up to it. And now she is eager to jump into the plane and go places and see cool things and do cool stuff that you can't really do in a car, at least not quickly. In our little turbo arrow here, we can cruise at 150 knots true airspeed all day, and that gets you pretty much anywhere you need to be pretty quickly. We can get
automated weather observation 1723 Zulu weather wind 250 at 6 visibility 10 ceiling 7
Tower 970, contact Myrtle Beach approach 119.2.
119.2 for 970, thanks.
So that was us. Finishing my last thought, we can get pretty much anywhere we want to get to in the United States.
Greyhawk 04, contact Jacksonville Center 134.37.
3437, grab 04 system.
November 356, Hotel Tango, Myrtle departure radar contact, climb VFR to 6,500, no delay under climb, please.
No delay to 615, 6 Hotel Tango. Field in sight, flex jet 502.
Flex jet 502, cleared visual approach runway 23, contact Grand Strand Tower 124.6. Thanks for your patience, see ya.
No problem, clear visual 23 and over to tower, good day, flex jet 502.
So you're hearing
Myrtle approach, arrow 42970, 5000.
Arrow 42970, Myrtle approach, Myrtle altimeter 3021.
3021, 970.
So you're hearing all the chatter from the regional jets, you're hearing the chatter from the airliners, and you're hearing GA traffic. And right now, the only GA traffic
Cirrus
in
3,
is
Charlotte
us.
Mike, contact portal approach 127.4.
So we have some light, fluffy clouds that we're going through, and that's easy. It's no problem.
Number 7 Papa Golf, Columbus County Airport reporting 7 miles visibility, scattered at 4,000, scattered at 6,500, the temperature 26 and the dew point 17.
Feel the winds there, 7 Papa Golf.
So the clouds ahead of us got my attention.
Number 7 Papa Golf, the wind from 26 to 25 minutes ago, 270 at 5.
Roger, I'll take a left downwind for 24, 7 Papa Golf.
7 Papa Golf, Roger. Maintain VFR, uncontrolled airport. To the Grand Strand, you have 8 at Zulu.
Zuma navigation to the Grand Strand, we have Zulu with 926.
Number 6 Hotel Tango, contact portal approach 127.4.
27.4, 6 Hotel Tango.
Sierra 7 Papa Golf, radar service terminated. Squawk 1200, change to advisory frequency approved. There is one aircraft observed a mile and a half southwest of Columbus County, indicates 1,000.
So
VFR 7 Papa Golf will drop the advisory 7 Papa Golf.
So I'm doing my best to narrate this video. I elected to leave all of the ATC chatter in because I think it's neat. If you're watching this video and if you made it this far, then you're interested in aviation, and so the things that that air traffic control is saying to the various aircraft is pretty interesting stuff. So to complete my last thought, the clouds ahead.
926, contact Grand Strand Tower 124.6.
Contact Grand Strand Tower with 124.6 with 926.
The clouds ahead got my attention.
Rotor Breach approach, good afternoon. Piedmont 5896, 11,700, leveling off 11,000 with Delta.
Piedmont 5896, Myrtle approach, Myrtle altimeter 3021, expect visual to 18, lower in 10 miles.
Alright, visual, we'll expect visual 183021, Piedmont 5896.
They are kind of dark. Light fluffy clouds are no big deal, just fly right through them. But the kind of dark ones are cumulonimbus clouds, and they may have updrafts of 9,000 feet per minute and 6,000 feet per minute down. That's 9,000 up and 6,000 down. And that's very dangerous. In essence, when you're flying in any aircraft, you're in a beer can, and that will rip you to shreds. So you've got to be super careful. So at this point, I looked down at my tablet, and I noticed that I didn't have weather overlays turned on. I had weather on my Garmin avionics in front of me, and they were painting some cells. So right now what I'm doing is I am checking my Garmin tablet so that I'm making sure I have FSB weather up, and I can see these things so that I can navigate around them, make sure that my tablet jives with what I'm seeing on the screens in front of me. And sure enough, there's some stuff that's in front of us that warrants some possible deviations. So I'm assessing right now, and my beautiful wife is next to me and she's fast asleep. So she's unaware of what's going on, and that's okay. We've done this many times before. As you can see though, we are definitely flying into some of the dark stuff. There aren't any other GA aircraft around us, so I don't really know what anybody else is necessarily seeing. And the regional stuff and the airlines, they're not flying at 5,000 feet, so they're just scooting right through this stuff and on their merry way.
Piedmont 5896, descend and maintain 6,000.
Descend and maintain 6,000, Piedmont 5896.
So my goal here, obviously we are solid IFR now, is to stay looking at the panel, make sure that I'm keeping the wings level, and making sure that I am maintaining my altitude, and making sure that my airspeed is staying the same. That way I know that I'm not in a turn, and I'm not climbing, and I'm not descending. So we just broke out here a little bit, and now we can see the ground again. Yay, okay. We're still not VFR though. We certainly don't have VFR cloud clearances here. And looking ahead, it looks like we're about to go into another area of precipitation. This time on my scope, I am definitely painting something that is very green and yellowish. Nothing red yet though, so that's good. It means that A, it's going to get a little bit bumpy, and B, there's probably going to be some precipitation up here. And sure enough, in a couple of minutes, you'll see that. So we're flying underneath this cumulus cloud right here. It's kind of cool.
Please approach Frontier Flight 4947 with the 11,000 Delta.
So you're hearing all the chatter from Myrtle Beach International right now. We're flying through their airspace, so I am on with their controllers.
Frontier Flight 4947, Myrtle Approach, Myrtle altimeter 3020, Delta currently pitch visual 18, low and 7,000.
Okay. Thank you. We'll expect 1
Piedmont 5896, flight heading 265, vector to hotel not final, maintain 3000.
Alright, heading 265, maintain 3000.
So as you can see, there are some buildups here in front of us. I think if I had gone to 7,000 feet, I would have flown right over this stuff. Interestingly, on the way...
Are you recording this? It's a good cloud bid.
On the way home, we actually took 6,000, and that kept us in it the entire time too. So I thought that the weather was going to clear up as the day went on, because that's what the...
Myrtle Beach, descend to 6900 Victor 9.3, descending to 6,000, full stop, good time.
Number 6900 Victor, Myrtle Approach, Myrtle altimeter 3020, expect a visual approach.
3020, won't get the visual.
Because that's what aviationweather.gov told me. This is a great example of, you know, sometimes...
Frontier Flight 4947, descend to maintain 3000.
11 to 3, Frontier Flight 4947.
Sometimes the weather, the forecasted weather isn't quite what the weather really is. So you've always got to be prepared for this sort of thing. So far we're good. We're in and out of it. We're in and out of it.
Approach, this is King Air 22 Charlie Romeo, 17,000 for 11,000.
King Air 22 Charlie Romeo, Myrtle Approach, the Myrtle altimeter 3020, advise when you have the Georgetown Airport weather for a visual approach.
3020, and I do have that weather, 22 Charlie Romeo.
Thank you.
We're in and out of it now. So, yeah, not too bad. You can see the ocean up in front of us, the coastline. This is an absolutely stunning flight to make.
Myrtle Approach with 9.7, 25 miles to the north at 2,000, and down with full stop with Delta.
Lift 927, Myrtle Approach, squawk 0364.
It's a beautiful landscape. You've got the coastline ahead of us. So
Frontier Flight 4947, flighting 265, vector to a 10-mile base.
265, Frontier Flight 4947.
Lift 927, radar contact, 24 miles northeast, Myrtle International. Maintain VFR.
Maintain VFR, lift 927.
So sometimes we have cameras positioned in various places in the aircraft that will allow us to show you different views.
446, 31 miles, to north 2,500, inbound full stop with Delta.
On the landline, who's calling me with Delta?
446 inbound with Delta.
446, Myrtle Approach, squawk 0377.
0377 with 446.
But today we just have this this one camera that is in portrait mode instead of landscape. And the reason why I selected portrait mode was because it's just easier to cut shorts out of it. Shorts for YouTube require portrait mode. So
Piedmont 5896, maintain 1,700.
It's going to maintain 1,700 people on 5896.
either way,
King Air 2 Charlie Romeo, descend to maintain 8,000.
8,000 for 22 Charlie Romeo.
you get a pretty view of what's around us.
Skyhawk 12276, 3 miles southwest of Grandstand, at 1,400, inbound full stop with information, Delta.
Spec 13276, Myrtle departure radar contact, maintain 2,000, expect the vector into the downwind for spacing.
Maintain 2,000, vector into the downwind, 276.
So now looking ahead of us, we see
Lift 927, flighting 260.
Flighting 260,
Lift 446, radar contact 10 miles southwest of the Columbus County Airport, the Myrtle altimeter 3020, flight heading 240.
Heading 240.
Piedmont 5896, advise field in sight, 10 and 12 miles.
Field inside, Piedmont 5896.
Piedmont 5896, cleared visual approach runway 18, maintain 180 knots or greater till a 5 mile final for staging.
Our clear visual approach 18 and maintain 180 knots or greater, Piedmont 5896.
Piedmont 5896, contact full tower 128.45, great day.
2845 goes well, Piedmont 5896.
Frontier flight 4947, set to maintain 1,717.
Got 1700, Frontier flight 4947.
So as you can see here, we are about to go into another cloud. So you might be asking yourself, well, why doesn't it just go over all this stuff?
Number 00 Victor, descend to maintain 4,000.
Descend on down to 4,000.
When you're IFR, you're assigned an altitude and you have to maintain it. You can ask for a different altitude, but because this is only a 38-minute flight, I elected not to do so. I figured, well, how bad could it possibly get? And coming up, I got my answer.
Frontier flight 4947, you've fallen in RJ, correction, and Embry about 12 o'clock, 6 mile left, I got a 2000, advise them on the field.
Looks like coming back from Fox 45.
Traffic, Frontier flight 4947.
Cessna 276, turn right heading 350, sequence number 45.
We're heading 250. 350.
Call sign, I've got several on frequency, Cessna 276 heading 350.
350, 276.
So at this point, obviously, we're going to use... we're gonna lose.
446, turn 10 degrees right, maintain VFR.
10 degrees right, VFR 446.
We're about to lose some visual references here as we go into this
Okay,
cloud.
approach Frontier flight 4947 has traffic in the field.
Frontier flight 4947, follow the Embraer, clears visual approach 18, contact Myrtle Tower 12845.
Okay, follow the approach, follow the Embraer to 18, clear visual approach 18, Frontier flight 4947 Myrtle Tower.
The guy in the Frontier Airlines airplane is about to make a mistake.
Tower, Frontier flight 4947 with a 1700 visual 18.
Frontier flight still approach, looking for 12845.
Okay, copy.
Sky 591 Juliet, Myrtle departure with contact, maintain 2000.
So the Frontier Airlines guy was...
927, this will be a vector approximately 2 miles across final for spacing, number 45 on final. 446, same for you, vector across final, 82 miles for spacing.
The Frontier Airlines guy didn't switch his radio. So he stayed on with approach to call tower. Everybody makes mistakes every now and again, even the big boys. So back to our flight. As you can see, we're about to go into something that looks kind of nasty. It looks nasty ahead of us, it looks nasty on my tablet, and it looks nasty on my displays. So it's going to require a deviation.
Cessna 5397 Charlie 3000.
Cessna 5397 Charlie, Myrtle approach, Myrtle altimeter 3020. Maintain 3000, there will be several aircraft passing beneath you too over the next 10 miles.
2020 will maintain 3000. We've got one plane in sight. We'll be watching for traffic 97 Charlie.
Lift 446, turn left straight into 18.
Left straight into 18, lift 446.
King Air 2 Charlie Romeo, contact Myrtle approach 127.4.
127.4, 22 Charlie Romeo.
Cessna 91 Juliet, turn right heading 350, vector downwind.
So remember,
350 now, Juliet.
Lift 927, turn left straight into 18.
Left straight into 18, lift 927.
an airplane is just a hunk of aluminum flying through the sky, and those 9,000 foot and 6,000 foot updrafts and downdrafts will rip it apart. So you can't just go flying willy-nilly into every cumulonimbus cloud, and that's why I'm on high alert right now. We're skirting that one to the left right now, and that's okay.
A lot more buildup today than I thought.
And that's me saying there are more buildups than I thought, because there were.
This one.
The one coming up definitely got my attention.
I didn't have weather on this thing, so I didn't realize it was coming up until something on this.
Charlotte is apparently just starting to wake up
Can we
here.
not go around it?
Number approach 970. Can we go 10 degrees left for a buildup? Number 970, 15 degrees left and right is approved. 15 degrees left, 970.
So that's me asking for a deviation. And this is us deviating. And that is something I did not want to fly through right in front of us, so we'll go around it. And you're about to hear Charlotte getting concerned that I'm not going around it enough.
It's just 10.
What?
It's just 10, isn't it?
Yeah.
You said 15.
276, traffic 1 in the DS 12 o'clock, now 3 miles right, dog leg, Airbus out of 1800. Verify you have them in sight.
Traffic
276, follow 8320, caution with turbulence, contact Middle Tower 12845.
Down the Airbus, over to Middle Tower, 276.
So as I make these videos, I'm using different formats.
Piper 970, contact Wilmington approach, 118.25, good day. 118.25, thanks.
That's us.
Wilmington approach, Arrow 42970, 5000.
Number 42970, Wilmington approach, Wilmington altimeter 3019er. That's for the approach from Southport.
3019, and can we get the RNAV 233 and 2 Cape here? 970.
Number 970, clear direct split, and maintain 2000.
Clear direct split, descend maintain 2000.
So as you can see, it's starting to pour. So I've elected to shoot the approach, the instrument approach, into our intended airport. So right.
So we are directed to Swick.
Number 970, amend altitude, going to maintain 3000.
Maintain 3000, 970.
So this is why you got to keep your instrument skills up. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. First of all, I can't see outside. And I've been told to descend to 3,000 feet. I've been told to proceed direct to a fix called SWIC, which is an initial approach fix for an instrument approach. I need to watch my airspeed and continue to monitor the panel to make sure that we're wings level. I don't have any visual references outside, so I'm hand flying the plane right now. Fortunately, I got a glimpse of something outside of the clouds right now. It looks like we're going to be flying through some wispies here. Charlotte is adjusting the camera now. She's pointing out to the right. And look at that beautiful coastline.
02, Wilmington departure, turn left heading 150, vector charade identification.
150,
And fortunately, we'd be in and out of it now as we continue on the approach. So as I was saying before, I'm experimenting with different techniques here.
Aircraft calling Wilmington, unanswered, say again.
While making these videos. So this is an entirely new technique that I'm using here of narrating what's going on in the cockpit. Sometimes these
Aircraft
videos,
calling Wilmington, unanswered, say again.
sometimes these videos just have Charlotte and me talking. I've tried the picture-in-picture thing of us talking while looking outside.
Number 141 Romeo Foxtrot, say request, in-type aircraft.
Let me know in the comments, if you've made it this far, what you like. Do you enjoy hearing a narration of what's going on after the fact?
02 radar contact, 4 miles southwest of Wilmington Airport, turn left heading 060.
And hearing all the ATC chatter at the same time while getting a view of the outside? I think it's kind of neat.
Number 76 X-ray contact, Fayetteville approach 133.0.
76 X-ray 133.0, thank you, sir.
Place good through the 28th of November, RNAV GPS from 223. We are headed towards Swick right now. We are going to have a final approach course of
141 Romeo Foxtrot, Wilmington approach, stay request.
Yeah, 5,100 feet of runway, touchdown zone elevation is sea level. 3,700 for 3,000.
Caravan 141 Romeo Foxtrot, Wilmington approach, stay
Okay,
request.
we're going to cross Swick, and then we're going to head 145, so I'll set that now, here, 145, 3,500.
So
3,000.
what I'm doing here is I'm setting up the instrument approach. I'm briefing
And
the
then we're
plate.
going to head to Puritan, or Orton. And at Orton, we're going to be at 1,700 feet.
Runway 141 Romeo Foxtrot, Wilmington approach, out of here.
3,300 for 3,000.
1 Romeo Foxtrot, stay request.
229 to Indy from Orton, 1,700 feet, that's the final approach decks. We'll begin our descent. This is an LPV, which means precision approach. 3,100 for 3,000.
66528, turn left heading 060. Maintain my switch, turn right heading 150, and maintain 2,000.
150,
Runway 1 Romeo Foxtrot, plus 0422, and currently there is no skydiving in progress.
Final approach decks, like I said. And 720 should be Jonah on here, so our flight plan.
So as I brief the plate here, you can see there's a lot going
And
on.
284 and 1. So 284 and 1. Get out of Dodge, climb 500 feet, climb right hand turn, and we'll go back to Swick.
175 South, Wilmington approach, Wilmington altimeter 3019.
So I've briefed the entire plate. I'm flying the airplane. I'm listening to approach. I'm making sure I don't miss my call sign, because after all, we're IFR here, and we have to be responsive to everything that they're saying to us and obey every directive. We're on our way to Swick. The good news is it looks like we've broken out here, and we could take the visual if we wanted to.
210, maintain 2,000 till established, cleared, Isla Zulu 24, to Mike Whiskey at the field site.
Airport should be right over there.
But I elected to shoot the approach, just why not?
No.
That's right there.
So I've got the airport in sight now, and we are flying the approach. And in a little while, air traffic control is going to come back on, and they're going to ask me to cancel IFR in the air or on the ground once we are prepared to land. So right now we're going through the descent checklist, making sure that the aircraft is ready to land. There we go. There's our descent checklist.
Throttle, mixture is required. Mixture richer. Fuel of the proper tank. Native. AOS, we have the weather. We have the weather.
Yep.
Altimeter and instruments.
And I have C10 over here for cancel IFR.
My quick contact tower 119.9.
Tower to Mike Whiskey.
So my wife is not a pilot, but she is an absolutely fabulous flying companion. She knows everything there is to know about flying a plane, and I'm pretty sure she could do it on her own.
3002, turn left heading 330, it's going to maintain 2,000.
330, maintain 2,000,
And when you're flying in instrument conditions, anything and everything that you have at your disposal, every tool in your arsenal is a wonderful thing to have, because it offloads you so that you can fly the airplane. Because that's what we want to do. We want to fly the airplane. We want to aviate, navigate, and then communicate. In that order, always. So she's there to make sure that the navigation is set up properly. Another pair of eyes, making sure that everything looks okay outside. She's always looking for traffic. She's doing all of those things that make this a safer flight. And remember what I said at the beginning of the video. She used to be terrified of flying.
Wilmington, departure radar contact, maintain 10,000, turn right direct LS.
Coming 10,000 right, direct LS, 550.
02, turn left heading 090, intercept localizer.
Left 090, intercept localizer,
02, turn left heading 270 to intercept localizer. Left turn 270.
Copy, 270, yeah, that sounds better. Thanks, intercept localizer, 02.
Blue Street 6528, turn right heading 330.
So if you guys made it this far in the video,
6528, turn right heading 150.
drop a comment and let me know if this is a good format. If having the video up and then having an overdubbed commentary is something that you find useful, or if you would just prefer to have the cockpit chatter and conversation between Charlotte and me.
02, 5 miles from Sumley, maintain 2,000 until established on the localizer. Cleared ILS Zulu, runway 24 approach.
Yeah, we have synthetic vision up here. It hates the approach on here. That's crazy.
That's great.
That's the procedure turn right there. There's Swick.
02, maintain 170 knots till a 5 mile final.
Maintain 170 until a 5 mile final for 1002, copy.
Wow, that's awesome.
So I just had the synthetic vision updated in my avionics, and what I'm noticing here is that when I put the approach in, it painted the entire approach and the missed approach on my directional gyro. So I'm marveling at that. It's pretty neat.
Number 29 Hotel, climb, maintain 8,000. Contact Washington Center 135.3.
Oftentimes we have our dogs with us in the airplane.
6528, 10 miles from Sumley, maintain 2,000 until established on the localizer. Cleared ILS Zulu, runway 24 approach.
So sometimes we have upwards of 5 dogs in the airplane.
Number 970, 4 miles from Swick, maintain 3,000
This is us.
until crossing Swick, cleared RNAV runway 23 approach into Southport Airport.
Okay, we'll maintain 3,000 until we cross Swick, and we are cleared for the RNAV 23 into Sierra Uniform Tango Cape here.
02, contact tower 119.9.
Tower 102.
So we've been cleared for the approach. So
3.7 Swick.
once we're past Swick and we are established
and
cleared,
119.9.
then we can descend and intercept the glide slope. So that's what we're working on here now. Lots and lots of stuff going on in a cockpit. Lots of stuff. At least now we can see outside. We're still technically not VFR because we don't have VFR cloud clearances here. We're also on an IFR flight plan. What a beautiful view there.
Number 29er Hotel, clear direct, Wilmington Vortex, Grand Strand, V1, then is filed.
That's Cape Fear Bay right there, or Cape Fear Inlet rather.
That's Cape Fear Inlet, I guess.
November 29er Hotel, read that
Apparently I
correct.
felt the need to say that to Charlotte too.
0.9 Swick.
November 29er Hotel, maintain 8,000.
So we are now 0.9 miles from our initial approach fix. We're going to start that turn because 0.9 miles in an airplane happens very, very quickly. Oh yeah, did I mention one of the things that we have to do is we're slowing down and approaching the terminal area is slow down.
Contact 10 miles northwest of Southport.
So we are now turning from Swick.
Romeo Romeo 5, so with you being so low at 400 feet, we might not be able to have comms with you. It might be better for you to just change the south towards Unicom frequency. Do you have it, or do you need it? Yeah, there's one target a mile south of Cape Regional Jetport, 1,100 indicated maneuvering. Squawk VFR, frequency change approved. Just stay on Unicom. If you want to fly following after you're done with the survey work, just call us back.
2,500 for 17.
Good afternoon, Wellington departure, update 820, 260 heading 2000.
Okay, 820 Wilmington departure, radar contact, climb maintain 10,000.
10,000, update 820.
So we are slowing down right now. We are in a descent, and we are now cleared for this approach.
Number 1 Romeo Foxtrot, Roger, calls back when moving traffic pattern.
And I will cancel IFR shortly.
02 Wilmington departure, turn left heading 150, vector for radar identification.
150, was it
Up to 820, clear direct Charleston.
Direct Charleston, up to 820.
So this flight gives you a pretty good idea of why it's so important to file IFR and fly IFR every time, even if the weather is beautiful VFR.
November 141 Romeo Foxtrot, report back to frequency when done in the traffic pattern.
Even if you have to go through some little white fluffy clouds, you can't do that VFR, but you certainly can if you're on an IFR flight plan. And sometimes, like in today's flight,
November 970, will you be canceling in air or with the phone number I can guide you on the ground?
I will cancel it now and go to CTAP.
November 970, IFR cancellation received, radar service terminated, squawk VFR, change to advisory frequency approved.
Alright, squawk VFR, change to advisory frequency, 970, thank you.